Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today to talk about intuition. What is intuition and why is it so important right now to be tuning into this highest form of intelligence? In today's conversation, I would love to share the story how intuition saved my life and the life of those in my family, and the 5 steps that you can take to strengthen your intuition, because this is all not rocket science. This is something that every single one of us can do, and we need to do right now, because here's a depressing statistic. Unfortunately, right now, people are unhappier than ever before on this planet. And I know this is so because I've been teaching all over the world, from Europe, America to China, and been having so much contact and amazing conversations with thousands of people. And I've been working with thousands of people, coaching them on happiness and how to improve their quality of life. And I have seen an alarming trend. And the WHO, the World Health Organization, actually sadly predicts that by 2020, depression and suicide are going to be the cause of death #1 globally on this planet. And I think that's shocking. And there is something we need and can do about this. So for the first time in 10 years, Americans are less happy than ever before. The Harris Poll Index, which is the happiness index that kind of measures the happiness levels in the country, in the US detected 2017 that for the first time in 10 years, Americans are less happy than before. Only 33% of all Americans say they're actually happy. And I know why. Because when you're not tuned into your intuition, you cannot be happy. And tuning into our intuition is not a difficult job. It's nothing hard. It's nothing mystical and esoteric and woo-woo and feminine and, I don't know, useless. It's the opposite. It's the highest form of intelligence, as I said before. And not only I say that, Steve Jobs recognized that. Albert Einstein recognized that. And Forbes magazine even quoted it just a few years ago as intuition is the highest form of intelligence. So how do we strengthen this highest form of intelligence? Well, that's what we're going to cover in this little conversation today. And it's what I really go into in my new book, How to Use Your Intuition to Change Your Life. And right now you can get my book as an ebook on Amazon for just 99 cents, because I want this message to spread like wildfire. Will you help me? Well, if so, then share this video. Help other people also tune into their intuition and become happier people, because you know what? If we're happier, we're more loving, we're more giving, we're kinder, we're wiser. And that is a virus that I would love to spread, a happiness virus. Okay, so Myers-Briggs, now that is a personality tool that 85% of all Fortune 500 companies in the US use when they hire people. Now, Myers-Briggs defines to reconnect us. There we go, Facebook's back. So intuition is something that is a key, not only for some spiritual connection, for the ability to make the right choices in the right time, but it's especially a skill we need to apply in the business world, right? So people like Barack Obama, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Hillary Clinton, Oprah Winfrey, Jodie Foster, I could go on and on and on, all score really, really high on intuition. And I say this has a reason, because they have found a key to tuning into the universe, into the much, much higher form of intelligence than our little human intelligence that's limited to the brain, maybe, right? So how do we do this? Well, step 1 is to get out of the buzz and tune in to yourself. Now, I know you might have read or heard this many, many times, go within, the wisdom is within and all that stuff, but you might not have realized why this is important. So I'd love to give you a few scientific backgrounds and some data to help support my case, which is that we need to tune into our intuition. So just 25 years ago, our brains were being bombarded with a certain amount of information every single second. And this was 25 years ago, around 2 million bits. So 2 million pieces of information coming in that our brain has to digest. We need to know what to do with it, right? 25 years later, so today, our brains are being bombarded with over 11 million pieces of information every single second. So how do we handle that? Because our conscious mind can only handle 126 pieces, not millions, 126, 126 pieces. So what do we do with the rest of the information? And how are we at the moment choosing what we're letting into our brains? What information is guiding our actions? What information is managing our state? Do you know? Well, we cannot tell that if we're all busy and distracted and, I don't know, on our screens the whole time, chatting and texting and Twittering and Instagramming and doing all these fun things which social networks and internet allow us to do. That's a great part of it, right? But the downside is that we lose connection to us, to what is it that I really need right now? What is the most loving thing I can do for myself right now? You see, intuition is a quiet voice inside of you. And intuition can only be heard with a quiet mind. Because in a busy mind, think about it, when you're stressed, when you're being really in tune with your work and all this stuff you've got to do, your mind is going in overdrive. You've got all these ideas, you've got all these thoughts going on, but you're not really tuned into that highest wisdom. You're more robot, right? So to be able to tune into that highest wisdom, we need to take time out. We need to take a breath every now and again. We need to have stillness, maybe close the eyes to shut off some of the information that is coming in and to be able to tune into ourselves, to get out of the buzz. And I will today teach you a wonderful method, really, really quick, that I've even been teaching to little 3-year-olds, even in China, and they can do it. And with this power move, you will be able to flip that switch so that you can tune into your intuition regardless of where you are, regardless how stressed out you are, how worried or overwhelmed or whatever you are, you have that internal switch. Because when you know that switch and you practice this switch, you will be able to tune into your highest wisdom. And I tell you, that is invaluable. So step 2, learn to say no gracefully. I believe no thank you is a complete sentence. But are you saying no thank you enough? And are you saying hell yes enough? Those are 2 very different things. I have noticed not only in my own story of life, but also coaching and working with so many women especially, that often we've been trained to become a sheeple, a people pleaser, someone who goes round and tries to make everybody happy. And especially if we're female, we've often been trained that way. Is how we learn to get love, to get respect, to get appreciation, to be seen. We wanted to be the good girls, right? So that is a really neat pattern to learn, but it's not always the best pattern to move forward. Because if you're following somebody else's needs and not your own, what's happening? Usually we end up feeling pretty frustrated, kind of angry, because we're not getting what we actually want, because we are doing what we think someone else wants, assuming and actually expecting that they give us kind of what we want back. That's a very conditional love. And I can tell you it doesn't work. So the way better way is step 3, forgive and release joyfully. Release that old stuff you're carrying with you. All those stories, all that past pain, it's in the past. It's done. It's no longer here. You're here right now because you made all those experiences, because you had all those wonderful challenges that helped you grow. Isn't that true? Well, when we see life that way, it's much, much easier to overcome drama and trauma and really move forward into the direction of our dreams. And that's where we get into step 4, and that is owning your desires. Own the desires that are burning inside of you, that are the passion, they're the rocket fuel towards your dreams. Desires are not evil, they're not bad. Don't push them away. Look at them. See, what would I love to be able to create? What would I love to experience in life? What is that goal that I'm working towards? Why did I come here? What is all this about? You know, those are really interesting questions to ask ourselves. And when we create what I love to do is a desire board, we create a kind of dream and wish board that makes all our dreams and visions very tangible. They 3D because we have a picture for it. So next time you're wondering, oh, what do I want in life? I don't really know. Why don't you put on some beautiful music and do the switch, which I will show you, get into a really good space and ask yourself, What if I had all the resources available to me? What would I create? What would my life look like if I was the greatest, grandest version of myself? And then pack or grab a pack of magazines and pictures, photos of yourself, and create a visual representation of your desires. And nothing is too crazy. As long as you're not harming anybody else with your desires, meaning that you're, I don't know, you have to go over some, I don't know, some moral standards to be able to achieve them. That's not a heart's desire. I'm talking heart's desires. Heart's desires are always there for you to be fulfilled. So with a desire board, you can create that visual representation, and you can remind your subconscious mind, which is the greatest part of your brain, of what it is that you really want. And what happens when we focus on what we really want in life is we get more of that. So if we're now focusing on what we don't want and what doesn't make us happy, what do? Well, we need to switch our state, and I will get to that in a second. But before we do, after step 4, so owning your desires, the next step is to 5, tap into the universe. So imagine you've cut out all these pictures for your desire board and you've stuck them on the board. You've made this great big poster for yourself that makes you feel all juicy inside when you're just looking at it, right? And then take a few breaths, and I'll teach you that in my book, how to do that really well with a special kind of technique that the Heart Math Institute found connects us to the space of our heart. You'll take a few breaths and you will look at your desire board and you will go into the universe where that is already reality. Because you know, timelines and things like that, they're pretty flexible. So that reality where you have fulfilled your desires, where you are living that beautiful, happy life, it already exists. It's about you tuning into that reality and tuning into that reality rather than all the pain and suffering that's going on around you maybe. Because when you do that and you manage your state, your frequency will stay high. You will be that light, that beacon of light in maybe a mass of unhappy people that will do 2 things. One is you will be in a better state, so you will be way more capable and able to help others. And 2, you are an inspiring role model. You are inspiring others to do the same, to say, okay, maybe I'm also worthy to create my desires. Maybe it is true that I can have everything that my heart desires. I just need to believe in it. Because whatever you believe is true, because that's the reality you are creating. So the most important thing we can do is to get out of the buzz and tune into ourselves. And I would invite you to do this with me right now. Are you in? And tap yes. Go on, let's do it right now. And whatever you're dealing with right now does not matter. Just face it, look at it and say, okay, I love and accept myself. And I do this funky move. You're going to tap your fist into your open palm of your hand. And while you're practicing this move, I know it can be a bit tricky at the beginning, you are synchronizing your left and your right brain hemisphere. So you're getting a whole brain function going, which is a helpful thing to do, don't you find? And then you're going to take a few deep breaths. Go for it. Very good. Now speed it up and then say, I love and accept myself. And if you're somewhere where you're feeling embarrassed in saying this out loud, at least say it in your mind and say it with conviction. This is your truth. I love and accept myself, even if I may be feeling stressed out, or life is not going the way that I want, or my dreams are right now not becoming reality. Regardless of what is right now, I love and accept myself. And now hold on. And I love and accept myself when I now choose to create the reality of my dreams, to make my heart's desires come true, to balance my state, to be tapped into my intuition, because I deserve it and I am worthy of it. Now breathe again. Good. Now how do you feel? If you were to do this every single time you feel kind of off, less than good, you would switch your state. I guarantee you will. Because not only are you syncing your left and your right brain hemisphere, you're de-stressing your entire body. And this is not just me saying this, but this is science, because in your palms of your hands and also on the outside ridge of your hands, you have many valuable acupressure points. So they're kind of the end points of these energy highways in our bodies called meridians. And they will activate the energy stream to all the organs and all the vital tissues and all the juicy stuff in your body to be able to release tension, to release stress. Because when you say, I love and accept myself, even if I feel bad right now. And I love and accept myself when I choose to feel good. You're doing two things. You're, number one, creating peace in your body. That conflict that you're feeling between, oh, but I want this, but I'm here, nah, 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 that's at peace. You say, you know what? I love and accept myself, because you do, right? You are love. And then you say, and now I choose. And this, my friends, is a very powerful sentence to say. It's very different from saying, oh, I wish, oh, maybe I could, or one day. You say, I now choose, because it is a choice. Every single second of your life, you have a choice. You have a choice to feel bad, or a choice to do something about it, manage your state, and get into a good frequency again. And is it always easy? Hell no. But is it worth it? Hell yes. So do it. I promise you will write back to me. If you do this for 10 days consecutively, every single time you notice you're going off in your mind and you're feeling bad, switch your state, bring yourself back onto planet Earth, ground yourself, focus on what you want. You will change your life. I know it. I promise it. And I would love to hear your stories on that. So, talking about stories, I promised you to share how intuition saved lives. Now, I have a ton load of stories that I will maybe have to write a second book about to fill all these stories in. And actually, Roy and I are working on that project. But I already put a lot of stories in this book. And I think the main story that really made intuition for me something so clear, so valuable, and so undoubtable, because that's what it is about, right? We all have intuition, but we often doubt it. But the moment where that changed for me, I think most drastically, was the time when we were just actually preparing to leave to travel Europe. So we were a few weeks before the big travel, where we're usually traveling for 4, 5, 6 weeks through Europe, doing our workshops. It's an intense time. And we pack up our family, and Grace comes with us, and we'll go to Austria, where she goes to school. And we've got it all planned out, right? Because I love planning. So we had this all planned out. And then before we left, we thought, okay, let's do a channeling. So channeling is a way of not only tuning into your intuition, but then learning how to really tap into that multiverse of the universe and connect to other sources of wisdom. And that's kind of what I do in many, many different ways. And we were doing a session like that. And then through comes this wisdom, this voice, it speaks through me. So my voice saying, you need to change the roof on your house. So Roy, who's always asking the questions in these sessions that we do, says, okay, why? Not really much more information, but the information was super clear. It's very urgent that you guys change the totally okay roof on your home in Asheville, and you change it for a hurricane-proof steel roof. So we pondered on it. We took a few deep breaths and talked about it, and then discovered, well, yeah, you know what? We have been trusting our intuition for at least 7 years together now. And we've been trusting it more and more and more and more, because in all our explorations, it proved that it's the clearest thing. It's always served us. So who were we in that moment to doubt this message, although it seemed so ridiculous? Because, you know, nothing in us wanted to replace a perfectly good roof on a house. And especially, you know, this is a project that costs a lot of bucks. And it wasn't something that I really was excited about investing in. So anyway, long story short, we decided we're going to go for it. We will do what our intuition tells us, and we are going to change the roof on our house for a hurricane-proof steel roof, which we invested a 6-figure number in. So we did that, and we left for Europe. The building team was there. Everything was getting ready. Then Grace and my mom traveled back to look after the dogs and be there earlier, and Roy and I were still traveling. And then in China, that's right, we were in China. And then my mom calls me and says, honey, we had a storm in Asheville. And I said, wow, that must have been exciting. We have a lot of storms, right? And she said, yeah, it was a really, really big storm. And I said, okay, so what happened? And she said, well, lightning struck the house. And I said, whoa. And she said, yeah. And you know, it struck the chimney of the house, and then the lightning came through the chimney into our living kitchen area. It's all open, right? Into that area where Grace and I were sitting with the dogs, because the dogs were so scared of the thunderstorm that was going on. They were all huddled together on the sofa. When lightning strikes the house, it goes through the chimney, and a huge fireball of 3 feet diameter, even bigger, right there in front of my mom, appears in front of her and Grace. And then poof, 30 seconds later is gone. Now, if that lightning ball had hit Grace or the dogs or my mom, they would have been instantly in a different planet. But that didn't happen. Now, another thing that didn't happen, which we only realized afterwards when I was talking to the builders, when they showed me what had happened, you could see that where lightning had struck the chimney, because it had even dented the metal. That's how strong it was, right? The builder told me, you know, ma'am, if you hadn't changed the roof on your house, your entire house would have burnt down, because the houses in America, they're usually built of wood. So that lightning would have burnt through the normal roof. And yeah, God knows what would have happened. But it didn't, because we listened. And I want you to listen too, because, you know, it's really so much more about tuning in and listening rather than being out there and being busy and active and doing all these interesting things. So please make yourself, and make me if you enjoy that, the promise that you will take the time every single day, maybe just 5 minutes before you go to bed, to tune into your intuition, to tune into yourself, to take 5 minutes of peace, 5 minutes of beautiful music, maybe where you light a candle and you just take me time. How about doing that? And if you want to be a superstar student, so you really want to go with rocket fuel, then you do the switch as well. Every single time you notice you're feeling less than good, and then get back to me in less than 10 days. I know you will experience a change, but if you do this for 10 days, I promise you will experience massive change. And I am sharing a bunch of resources just like this in my new book, How to Use Your Intuition to Change Your Life. And I encourage you to get it today. Help me reach bestseller status on Amazon, and let's spread this message. It's 99 cents of investment. I think you can do that. And I would love you to tune into your intuition so we can make this planet a better place, a happier place with happier people, where we can share all that love and that goodness that we have inside of us instead of all that pain and suffering. So will you help me? I really hope so. So I'm now going to switch my attention to your comments, because I've seen a lot of stuff, but I really wanted to share my message first. And I'm seeing, oh my goodness, we've got so many beautiful people online. Nicole, thank you so much for your words of kindness. And Angela, Ines, Jackie, Eva, Johanna, I'm sure there are many, many more of you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting my cause, supporting our cause of making this place a better place. So now I'm going to open the floor for some questions, because I'm sure all this chatting has brought up maybe some ideas in you. Maybe this is something you would like to share. Maybe there's a question you have. So ask me anything. If it's related to intuition, so the better. But seriously, ask me anything, and I will tune into my intuition and give you my best answer. So, hi Meredith, so good to have you here. We're just sharing the link in the comments. And again, if you were to share this video for us and spread this message, I would be most grateful. Hi Federica. You know what I love? That so many of you Europeans, if I may say so, are joining this international call. So do you want to know where I am? Would you like to know? I'm in New Mexico. So if you could look out through the windows behind me, you would see desert and cacti, and you'd see a great pyramid that I was actually meditating in. And I will go there again after this call. It's amazing energy. And just yesterday, I was allowed to present this topic, intuition, guess what, on TV here in New Mexico in Albuquerque. And I'm very, very excited that NBC decided to take this topic on. And, you know, this would not have been possible just a few years ago. I know so. Because I remember when I started on this path, oh, the amount of raised eyebrows I got, and oh, she's lost it. Now she's gone really crazy, and now she's talking to angels and doing all this weird stuff. But you know what happened? Once I started being really successful in what I'm doing, and people started spreading the word of the results they were getting, not me, they were getting the results, because I was just the coach, right? I just guide people. But when people start transforming, others cannot deny that. So, you know, stop being just in your head, getting in, oh, I would do this, I could do that, and start doing it, really. When we own our desires, we also find that courage to actually get into action. And I say right now is the time to take action. So download the book, 99 cents, spread the message, and ask me questions. If there's anything you would like to ask me, do it now, because I will not be online forever. So go on, pluck up your courage, ask me a question. I'll be happy to answer it for you. And yeah, tap into gratitude. That would be the next tip I'll give you while you're thinking about your question. Hi, Karen. Gratitude is another beautiful resource, a free resource that you can tap into every single morning when you wake up. I've made it a habit to wake up saying thank you. You know what I realized sharing room with some of my friends sometimes, girlfriends, for instance, when we travel somewhere and we share a room, you know, some people wake up in the morning in a real rough way. I'll show you one of my friends who does the following. She'll be sleeping deep. And then suddenly she'll wake up and say, oh, fuck. Seriously, oh, fuck. That would be the way that she would wake up. And I was sharing room with her. And then after 3 days, I thought, you know, this is rough. This is rough to watch. So I said, you know what, honey, have you noticed that you do this every morning? And, you know, is this really how you'd like to start the day? And she said, you know what, I didn't even notice. And I said, I know, I can imagine, right? Sometimes we have these habits that we're not even aware of because we're so busy and distracted, right? Okay, so then we worked on it, and I showed her a simple technique, and now she wakes up, thank you. And you know, when we do that, we start the world the whole day in a very, very different way. So any questions, my loves? I cannot see anything coming. I'll refresh the page. Maybe, hey, we got new viewers in. No, may not be saved. I don't know. If I can reload, then I might lose you guys. So, well, no questions is also good. I must have told you a lot. There you go, Nicole. Sometimes it is hard for me to distinguish between an idea or a thought that comes up in myself and the doubt it is driven by fear or it is coming from something else. Yeah, lovely. You know, here's a great quote for you, Nicole. Only a quiet mind can hear intuition over fear. So intuition will give you a, oh my God, get out of here, if it's a real emergency. That intuition will do. But intuition is not that nagging voice in the background saying, oh, you suck at this. Oh, you're never going to do this. Oh, no, you better not do this. Far too risky. No, what if someone notices your chain? That is not intuition. That is a voice coming from lack and fear. And if you listen to it, why don't you write it down? I noticed when I wrote down the main conversations in my head, A, I was shocked, and B, I saw, whoa, these are very interesting beliefs. Now, all of those of you who have been with me maybe for a time and have been to our workshops or to our Oracle training know that every belief you can change. It's your belief, right? So if you don't want to believe that anymore, you can choose to believe something different. And there's a very simple process to make that happen. So if you write down all that negative chat and you notice the beliefs that you have about yourself, I would bet my hat that it'll be something along the lines that you're not worthy to be successful, you're not worthy to be loved, you're not worthy to be this. It's usually coming from lack and fear. And if it's that, that's just old programming. That literally is just old stuff. And you know, Nicole, that you can release that. Release and forgive joyfully. So forgive yourself, number one, for having those thoughts, because I feel so often we judge ourselves even harder than anybody else could do, right? That the harshest critic lives inside of our head. So just notice that that is just your harshest critic. It's a scared little ego living inside of you, but that's not you. Your intuition is way bigger than that. Your wisdom of your heart is way bigger than that and way more powerful. So your only job is to manage your thoughts and to really watch out, what is it that I am sending out there? Because your brain is a sender and a receiver. So if you receive information, that's one thing, but you're also sending stuff out with your thoughts. And the more often you think a thought, the more real it'll become. So the more of that reality you will create. So switch your thoughts, switch your thinking, do the switch every time you notice it, and you will hear the difference between that voice of fear and your intuition, which is the real voice you want to be listening to. I hope that helps. Okay, so Danielle, I think the intuition gives you peace while the ego does not. Yes, I agree with you. I totally agree with you, because the voice of the intuition, I have noticed, is always constructive. It might not always tell you what you want to hear. Think of the roof example, right? But it'll always give you a solution. It'll always show you a way. And when you just have enough trust, and I call that trust unshakable faith, which is another beautiful resource I share in my book for free for those of you who get it. It's a brain training meditation where I have put together all the empowering beliefs. It's kind of a pep talk that you can listen to in the background. You can listen to it while you relax, where I train your unshakable faith muscle. So that muscle that you can trust yourself, that you can trust the universe has got your back. This is a benevolent universe. You're meant to thrive. You're meant to succeed. You're meant to be happy. And when you truly believe that and incorporate that in your being, that reality will become true for you and for those around you, because you're lifting everyone up. Doesn't it just make sense, right? Thank you for the kiss, Nicole. So great questions, right? Isn't it fun how a conversation around intuition can bring up all these issues? That's what I love about my work, that I get to dive so deep with people and to be so present with every one of you. And I really appreciate every one of you for taking this time out of your very busy day to join me here and talk about this topic. And again, if you enjoyed this chat, please share it and buy the book. And then, most important of all, tell me how you did. Tell me how you're doing. How are you putting all the tools and the power moves and the brain hacks and my freebies, how are you putting them into action? Because, you know, the book is a super easy read. It's just, I think, 60 pages about. It's a quick read. It's nothing, I don't know, elaborate and long, fancy words. So even if English is not your mother tongue, you can read it. And it's actually going to be translated into Italian and Dutch right now, but that'll take a time. So in the meantime, get the English version. It's very easy to read. I wanted it to be a book that's not somewhere in a bookshelf getting all dusty, but it's something that's a tool that you can use every day. And we're actually, as we're speaking, we're continuously refining and adding more stuff in because we're so passionate. Our entire team is about this project. And I just want to give a shout out right now to my team, to Meredith, to Dawn, to Cheyenne, to Emmanuel, to my husband Roy, to our Dutch team, to Anya, to all the amazing souls who are working for Crystalline and together with me to spread our message of love and hope and positive transformation. So thank you, thank you, thank you, team. I could not do any of this without you, and I couldn't do it without any of all of you either, because we're a tribe. So Talking Tribe, if you would like to stay in contact with me a little closer and have some positive conversations, then do join the Joy Tribe here on Facebook. It's an open Facebook group. I'm in there every day. I look in, I chat with people. And if you want an even deeper connection, then join our Crystalline coaching community. That's where we can really dive deep into your questions. And we have hot seats, and you're kind of under my wings then, and under Roy's wings, and we're there for you to guide you towards your greatest, grandest self. So that's another option. And the third option, I think it might be now, or the fourth option that I want to give you, is that if you really, really want to master your intuition and you want to become what I call a crystalline oracle, that is a crystal clear channel of divine wisdom. If you want to be that, then do check out our Oracle trainings. My Crystalline Oracle training, it's 4 modules. You can do them online and live. The first 2 modules have already taken place live, so you can get those online. And the third module is coming up in October. And there we're going to be doing remote viewing and astral traveling. Whoa, 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 telling you. CIA agents have done this. Russians do it all the time. It's an amazing technique, both of them are, and we're going to teach you the foundations of both those techniques in just 4 days in Italy. Beautiful Lago di Garda. And again, you can join live, you can join on live stream. We're going to be live streaming in 3 languages: English, German, and Italian. So no excuse not to tap into that really juicy intuition if you don't want to. And yeah, I'm just going to send you all a kiss. And thank you for your attention, for your sweet presence. And yeah, I really, really appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to tune out now and wish you a blessed day or night, wherever you may be. Thank you, Danielle. I look forward to seeing you in October. We always have such an amazing energy there, right? I always say it's like a spiritual pop concert, because I don't believe that spirituality needs to be weird and I don't know, we're just sitting around and being like this all day. We have fun. because being spiritual is about having fun in life, doing good, being tuned into your intuition, and making this life journey a joyful ride that is beneficial and uplifting. That's my belief. So if you would like to join us in Italy, then go ahead. If not, please download how to use your intuition to change your life today. Let's rock an Amazon bestseller and show this world that we do have an option and we can be happy. Okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mille baci, dike kysse, lots and lots of love. I hope to connect with you again soon. Thank you.